Welcome back to Brentshang. I'm Brent Barnett. Today we're doing another custom shop makeover, and I love these episodes because I get to Gibraltarize your kit. Yes, Gibraltar is being used as a verb here because it's not just a proper noun. I'm showing you a number of different ways that you can set up your kit using Gibraltar hardware. Now, we all know there's not 1, 2, or 3 ways to set up a kit. There's only 4. Yeah, I know. You guys are gonna call me out on that. Yeah, there's multiple ways of setting up a drum set, and Gibraltar helps you get there. So for those of you that would like to submit for the custom shop makeover, please send all video and pictures to Brentshang.Gibraltar@gmail.com. Make sure that you take slow video around the drum kit because I need to see what you got. Anyway, so let's see who this episode's custom shop makeover is for. Okay, last time I got a text. Let's see if they're gonna text me this time. Oh, they did. Ask Siri. How is Siri gonna know? I mean, to be honest, she's not Alexa. Hey Siri, who is this month's custom shop makeover for?
Okay, I found this on the web for who is this month's custom shop makeover for. Check it out.
That's scary. Shane Waggoner. So let's see what Shane's working with here. He has his 10 and 12-inch rack toms offset from the bass drum, but the order of the toms is flipped around. He's going 12-10 instead of 10-12, which actually adds a really cool sound when you roll around the toms. Now, he has those toms mounted to the rack utilizing a double tom mount. And what's also really cool is that he's using a Gibraltar cymbal arm accessory to mount his splashes directly to one of the XS L arm that he's mounting his 12-inch tom. So moving over to the left, his 16-inch crash is just a mini boom mounted directly to the crossbar of the rack on the left side. Then, further back to the left, he has his 14-inch crash mounted off of an accessory arm that's connected to the 16-inch main crash arm. Then further back, we have his 16-inch floor tom right on his left-hand side at the very back end of his drum kit, which is really cool because he can play the 16 with his left hand. So now let's have a look at the right side of the setup. There's an 18-inch crash on a mini boom mounted directly to the right side of the rack. Now, off of that mini boom, he has an X-hat clamp to it, which is the 9707XB. Very cool, by the way, dude. And it's boomed right over to where a ride cymbal would normally be placed, or another tom would be placed over the bass drum. When you move towards the back, he's got his ride cymbal mounted directly to the right side of the rack. And then also, we can't forget the 14-inch floor on the right-hand side. So now he's got his 2 floor toms instead of 14-16, he's got 14-16, which is really cool when you're doing double stops, so you don't have to twist your back like this. I mean, he's got it all figured out with the ergonomics and everything. I won't have back issues playing this thing. So anyways, you've seen his unique setup. I love it, by the way. But let's see what we can do to Gibraltarize it. So when I'm trying to figure out the right rack for a particular setup, I just look at the configuration because the configuration will tell you everything that you need. The rest of it's just look. Do you want a tall look? Do you want a stealth look? Do you want a straight or a curved look? I chose to go with the GSS-VR, which is the stealth side V-rack mounting system. This is in the stealth series, and it's very similar to the GSS-MS, but this is a V-rack. It's a short V-rack. The verticals are 14.5 inches tall. The V-bar is 30 inches long, and it's very compact. I added one of these to each side of his kit. Now, when you look at his setup, he's got a very simplistic cymbal setup. He's got 2 crashes here, a crash ride, hi-hats over here, 2 rack toms, and a splash right here. I wanted the rack to mimic that. I didn't want a bunch of extra tubes sticking out. I didn't want a bunch of extra hardware that I didn't need. I wanted everything to be minimal and compact. So let's have a look at how I have everything mounted. All right, so let's start with the rack toms because this is the most important part in the entire setup because you have to feel the most comfortable right here because this is where you're gonna be doing most of your playing. So I have the 12 and 10 inch rack toms mounted out of the front leg of the rack using the SC-DP, which is a double tom mount. So then I took my 2 splashes and I mounted them out of the back clamp of this double tom mount using the SC-SBBT. So now I have 3 items mounted to the front leg of the rack. Moving over, we have our 16-inch crash, and I mounted it to the crossbar. Now, the crossbar is really low to the ground, and I still needed to get this 16-inch crash high enough to where it felt comfortable to place it, and where Shane's using it. So I had to use a shaft extender, which is the SC78 ASE. It's an accessory shaft extender that accepts a 7/8" diameter tube, which most cymbal booms have a 7/8" diameter. So this allows me to play the crossbars very low, but still position my cymbals at the height that I need to make them comfortable. Moving over to the 14-inch crash, I have this mounted directly out of the back leg of the rack. So everything is very compact, very small footprint. Then you move over, I've got my 16-inch floor tom right behind the back leg of the rack. So now let's have a look at the right side of the setup. My right, your left. Don't get it twisted. So I mounted the X-Hat directly out of the front leg of the rack. I needed a little bit more space and a little bit more distance, so I used the SC-LBBT, which is the long boom arm. But I needed to add an X-Hat to it, so I added the SC-XH-AT, which is an X-Hat adapter that you can thread right over an 8mm cymbal post. So it placed it comfortably and where Shane has his position. So next we have the 18-inch crash, which is mounted to the crossbar. Now remember, the crossbar is basically dragging in the dirt here, so I still needed to get this position at a height that's comfortable, and also where Shane has his position. I mean, there's a theme here, right? So I had to use the SC78 ASE, which is the 7/8" accessory shaft extender, which gave me an 18 inches of height additional to what the boom arm I was using already had. Next, I've got the ride cymbal mounted directly out of the back leg of the rack. Then I have my 14-inch floor tom positioned just as Shane does. So here are the product highlights for this makeover. We have the GSSVR, which is the stealth side V-rack mounting system. We have the SC-LBBT long boom arm. We have the SC-SBBT short boom arm. We have the SC78 ASE, which is the 7/8" accessory shaft extender. We have the SC-DP, which is the double tom mount. And we also have the SC-XH-AT, which is the X-Hat adapter. Well, that's it for this episode of Gibraltar's Custom Shop Makeover. Shane, thank you very much for letting me work with your drum kit. It's really cool to see how Gibraltar can enhance your uniqueness. For those of you that would like to have your kit Gibraltarized, please send video and pictures to Brentshang.Gibraltar@gmail.com. And for the rest of you, I'll see you on the flippity flip.